Now here we have the Bosch Athlet cordless vacuum cleaner. It's a really good piece of kit actually. Seems to work really well. But this one came into the workshop just outside of warranty. It was cutting out, and after quite a bit of testing and trying to replicate the fault, I identified a weakness with this design. I don't know if you can just see in there, a little multi-way connector, little PCB fits into there, and that multi-way connector picks up the signal from the switch on the handle. I've just separated the handle. Presumably there's an accessory or handle or some kind of different handle maybe you can put on there, I don't know, but that sends its signal down to the little connector in there. You can just about make that out, I think, in shot there. Anyway, once that's connected on top of the vacuum there with a little click, then the connection's made and you can use the vacuum. Now the only problem with that is over time there's movement that occurs. Now what I think's happened here is that it's been used, or well used, and the little slider socket there, if you like, on the other half of the handle has deteriorated and cracked. Now I don't know how much these are, but the overall cost of this machine is about sort of £250 roughly, UK pounds. So being outside of warranty, you're sort of wondering whether it's cost effective to repair, but what's possible on this design, there's a little screw the other side of the handle there. Now if you don't use this button much, what you can do, and what I've done in this case, aside from cleaning the electrical connectors up because they're arcing, causing the cutting out, so clean both sides of those, what you can do to secure it so that it is tighter, basically not moving around and likely to cause damage to those connectors, is put a screw through here. But what you'll need to do is to drill a hole through this side of the clip to correspond with the other side of the screw that you've removed. Now originally there's a screw in there, I don't know if you can just make that out in shot, that sits directly opposite the button that pops up into the space now. Now what I've done there is drill a hole through that button at about 4mm to take a self-tapping screw through there, through the other side of the casing and into the screw hole that you've just removed. So I've taken the screw out of that hole that sits in there originally, in order to pass the screw through from the outside world through the little button there into the casing. The screw I've used is just a straightforward self-tapping screw with an indented washer. You can just use a plain washer, but this is one I just happen to have lying around. I'm going to fit that through the hole, bearing in mind it's going to go through the casing, secure against the handle there and into the hole that was behind inside the handle. And just with the vacuum turning the other way, you can just see where the screw will pass through the other side. In fact, actually, let's just put the screw just to show what's actually happening here. So, just loosely offering up the screw, just screw that through there, and you can see what's happening is that that's then passing through the body and into the handle the other side, and it looks nasty and sharp, but bearing in mind that goes straight into, just bring it up to the camera, the other side there, so that fixes it nice and strong, and basically compressing the handle square with the body of the vacuum and holding it with the washer nice and tight so it can't move. The PCB that slots into here had got quite dirty, and obviously due to the current being pulled, had arced So there's quite a bit of pitting evidence on the PCB, which I'll show you in a sec, but it's worth cleaning up the socket here. Now if you've got access to a toothbrush, run that toothbrush through the jaws of that socket there. Even better if you've got some contact cleaner, some even WD-40 would help, but better still actual electrical contact cleaner. A little squirt of that in there with the toothbrush in, and that will clean up the socket. So what I've done there is just put a screw through the base of the handle, through the little button that's supposed to clip that in place as a quick release mechanism, through the body and into the screw hole the other side of this. Now you obviously can't see any difference from the front, but what you will notice is that's fixed now, nice and solid. There's no chance of any movement which is likely to cause damage to the PCB and the socket connector within that handle, which obviously takes the signal from the switch on the handle. And tested this thoroughly now, and it no longer cuts out. So yeah, a little modification that won't cost you a lot of money if you've got a self-tapping screw and a washer, and if you don't take that handle off that often, you'll never notice the fix. But it's obviously a little weak point there on the design. Maybe the designers want to think about just making that a little bit stronger on an overall pretty good piece of engineering.